On the early morning of May 30th, 2005, a car glided through the quiet streets of Oranjestad, Aruba, shrouded in the darkness before dawn. Inside Natalee Holloway, an 18-year-old girl with a radiant smile and dreams of becoming a doctor, sat alongside three men she had met just hours earlier. The sound of waves crashing against the shore mingled with an eerie silence, as if the island itself sensed something horrific was about to unfold. The car vanished into the night, and Natalee was never seen again. Her luggage neatly packed in her hotel room, along with her passport and dreams of the future, remained behind as a painful reminder that she had disappeared without a trace. Nearly 2 decades later, the haunting question lingers. What happened to Natalee Holloway, and why, even after the prime suspect confessed to the crime, has her body never been found? Aruba, a small Caribbean island renowned for its white sandy beaches and vibrant sunshine, was a perfect destination for luxurious vacations. In the summer of 2005, the island welcomed thousands of tourists, including 124 recent graduates from Mountain Brook High School in Alabama, on an unofficial trip to celebrate their milestone. But beneath the beauty of this paradise lay a darker side, an uncontrolled party culture, with alcohol flowing freely and long nights at bars like Carlos and Charlie's, where flashing lights and loud music drowned out any sense of danger. That night, the atmosphere at Carlos and Charlie's was electric, with a crowded dance floor, clinking glasses, and laughter echoing through the air. But at 1:30 a.m., a single moment changed everything. Natalee walked out of the bar and got into a car with Joran van der Sloot, a 17-year-old Dutch honor student, and 2 brothers, Deepak and Satish Kalpo. It was the last time her friends saw her alive. Natalee Holloway was no ordinary girl. Born in Memphis, Tennessee, she grew up in a middle-class family navigating challenges after her parents' divorce in 1993. Yet Natalee always shone brightly. At 18, she was a member of the National Honor Society, her school's dance team, and had earned a full scholarship to the University of Alabama, where she planned to pursue a medical career. Those who knew her described her as intelligent, cheerful, and full of hope. During the Aruba trip, she embraced the party atmosphere, drinking and dancing like other young people. But no one could have imagined that this celebratory trip would turn into a nightmare. Her luggage found in her room at the Holiday Inn was a haunting detail. Everything was neatly arranged, as if she fully intended to return home for her morning flight. So what caused her to vanish? Aruba, despite its status as a tourist paradise, was not without its shadows. The island's economy revolved around tourism, with bars, hotels, and casinos at its core. But in 2005, its legal system was limited, with a police force lacking the resources and experience to handle an international missing persons case. The party culture, as one police officer described, was wild, with early morning drinking and constant room switching. This created an environment where young people like Natalee were vulnerable, and predators could easily blend into the crowd. Aruba had no significant history of major crimes before this, but Natalee's disappearance exposed flaws in the system, from police delays to pressure from the tourism industry to maintain the island's paradise image. So, what happened to Natalee Holloway? Several initial theories emerged, each raising difficult questions. First, Natalee may have been kidnapped or killed by Joran van der Sloot, the last person seen with her. His contradictory statements and later criminal history make this theory compelling. But if she was killed, where is her body second? She might have died accidentally, perhaps from excessive drinking or drug use, and those with her panicked and hid her body. This aligns with reports of her heavy drinking, though her family denied drug use. Third, a more shocking theory: Natalee was sold into a sex trafficking ring, as van der Sloot once claimed, before retracting. Though lacking evidence, this idea fueled fears of hidden criminal networks in tourist destinations. Fourth, could Natalee have run away to start a new life? Her packed luggage and passport make this nearly impossible. Finally, some speculated about a larger conspiracy involving Aruban officials or organized crime, covering up the truth to protect tourism. Each theory has strengths and weaknesses, but one detail haunts me. Natalee's luggage neatly packed, as if she was certain she'd return. That's not the action of someone planning to flee or aware of danger. Then there's Joran van der Sloot, who changed his story repeatedly from leaving Natalee on a beach to confessing to her murder nearly 20 years later. I wonder, is he hiding a bigger secret, or is he simply a manipulator who enjoys toying with the truth? This case isn't just a mystery. It's a warning about what can happen when the light of paradise obscures the darkness beneath. To understand why Natalee vanished, we must return to that fateful night when she got into the car with 3 men, and every clue began leading us into a maze of truth and lies. In the early hours of May 30th, 2005, the streets of Oranjestad were so quiet you could hear the waves crashing blocks away. Carlos and Charlie's, the city's liveliest bar, still echoed with music, but the crowd had thinned. At 1:30 a.m., Natalee Holloway was last seen by her friends. She wore a summer dress, her blonde hair tied up, her smile still bright despite drinking all night. She stepped out of the bar slightly unsteady and got into a white car with Joran van der Sloot, a tall, brown-haired 17-year-old with the confident air of an honor student. With him were Deepak Kalpoe, 21, the car's owner, and his brother Satish, 18, both friends of Joran. The car drove off, disappearing into the darkness, and Natalee never returned. What happened next is a puzzle that nearly 20 years later remains unsolved. The timeline begins with the final moments at Carlos and Charlie's. According to classmates, Natalee had been drinking heavily, even starting the day with cocktails, part of the wild party culture described by Police Chief Gerald Dompig. But there were no signs she was in distress or danger. She danced, laughed, and seemed to enjoy the moment. As the bar closed, Joran, a stranger she met that night, offered to drive her back. Deepak and Satish Surinamese brothers living in Aruba joined them. They left at 1:30 a.m., just hours before Natalee was due at the airport for her flight back to Alabama. But she never made it. When her mother, Beth Twitty, learned of her disappearance, she flew to Aruba with her husband, Jug, within 4 hours. They found Natalee's luggage in her Holiday Inn room, neatly packed with her passport and clothes untouched. This detail haunts me. Natalee clearly had no intention of leaving. So what happened in those few hours between the bar and morning? Initial clues only deepen the mystery. First were the statements of Joran van der Sloot and the Kalpoe brothers questioned by police shortly after Beth's arrival. Joran claimed they took Natalee to the California Lighthouse, a remote spot on the island's north end, because she wanted to see sharks. They then dropped her off at the Holiday Inn at 2:00 a.m. Joran said Natalee fell as she got out, but refused his help. He added a strange detail as he left. He saw a man in a black shirt like a security guard approach her. Deepak and Satish corroborated this story, but it quickly fell apart. Police found no CCTV footage at the Holiday Inn lobby showing Natalee's return. Beth Twitty, in desperation, claimed the cameras were broken, but later contradicted herself in her book. This inconsistency makes me wonder, was something hidden? Or was it just the chaos of a rushed investigation? Physical clues led to dead ends. A piece of duct tape with blonde hairs sparked hope, but Dutch lab tests confirmed they weren't Natalee's. A suspected blood sample in Deepak's car was analyzed, but it wasn't blood. No DNA, no body, no murder weapon. Only Natalee's luggage remained a reminder that she had been there alive and then gone. Another chilling detail, Joran texted Deepak 40 minutes after leaving Natalee saying he was walking home. But Deepak claimed he was asleep, not picking Joran up as Joran suggested. This gap from 2:00 a.m. to sunrise is where the mystery lies. What happened in those hours? The investigation began immediately with remarkable scale for a small island like Aruba. Hundreds of volunteers, including public workers given time off, joined the search. 50 Dutch Marines scoured the coast. 3 F-16 jets with infrared sensors flew over the island, finding nothing. Aruba's bank donated $20,000, and the FBI sent agents to assist. Beth and Jug, not waiting, confronted Joran at his home with police hours after landing. Joran, at home with his parents, initially denied knowing Natalee, but later admitted meeting her and recounted the California lighthouse story. His calm demeanor facing a desperate mother chills me. Was it innocence or the confidence of a seasoned liar? Police arrested Joran and the Kalpoe brothers on June 9, 2005 for kidnapping and murder. But Aruban law required concrete evidence to hold suspects, and they had none beyond conflicting statements. Joran changed his story, saying he was dropped off at home and Natalee left with the Kalpoes. Deepak and Satish claimed they dropped both at a beach near the Marriott. Police Chief Dompig called Joran's story absurd, especially his attempt to blame the Kalpoes. This Alabama girl wouldn't stay in a car with 2 strangers, he said. All 3 were released in July and September 2005 due to insufficient evidence. Other suspects, like security guards Nick John and Abraham Jones, were arrested but released without clear links. A gardener claimed to see Joran near a tennis club at 2:30 a.m., hiding his face, but this led nowhere. A jogger reported seeing a group burying a blonde woman at a landfill, but searches with cadaver dogs found nothing. The prime suspect, Joran van der Sloot, is central to this mystery. At 17, he was an honor student at Aruba's international school, charming and confident. But something was off. Joran constantly changed his story from denials to shocking admissions. In 2008, on a Dutch TV show, he said Natalee died of a seizure on the beach and a friend hid her body. He retracted, claiming he lied. Later, he claimed he sold her into sex slavery, only to retract again. In 2010, he extorted the Holloway family, demanding $250,000 to reveal her body's location, but his information was false. The climax came in 2023 when Joran confessed to killing Natalee by force after she rejected him. Yet even this confession didn't answer the question, where is her body? Deepak and Satish Kalpoe also remain under suspicion. Deepak, the driver, and Satish in the back seat claimed they were just doing a good deed by driving Natalee back. But their conflicting statements and Joran's texts make them potential accomplices. Their motive is unclear, but they may have helped Joran cover up the truth to protect him or themselves. Minor suspects like Jeffrey van Kromvoort, suspected drug dealer, or Guido Weaver, suspected abduction accomplice, briefly emerged, but left no mark. The investigation was repeatedly hindered by a lack of physical evidence, contradictory statements, and pressure from Aruba's tourism industry to downplay the case. Let's revisit the theories to unravel this mystery. First, the strongest theory: Joran killed Natalee, possibly in a rage after rejection, as his 2023 confession suggests. His criminal history, killing Stephanie Flores in Peru in 2010, bolsters this. But if true, why hasn't her body been found? Did someone help him hide it? Second, the sex trafficking theory based on Joran's 2008 claim. Though retracted, it raises questions about criminal networks in Aruba. Yet there's no concrete evidence. Third, Natalee died accidentally, perhaps from alcohol poisoning, and Joran and the Kalpoes hid her body in panic. Dompig believed this, but her family denied drug use and there's no body to verify. Fourth, Natalee ran away, an almost impossible scenario given her belongings. Finally, a larger conspiracy involving Aruban police or officials, as Joran hinted. But there's no evidence beyond his words. My personal theory, I believe Joran killed Natalee, possibly impulsively, and someone, perhaps the Cal Pose or an unknown figure, helped him hide her body, maybe by incineration or dumping it at sea. The man in a black shirt sounds like a fabricated distraction, but it makes me wonder if another witness is out there staying silent. This case isn't just a disappearance. It's a labyrinth of lies, where the truth seems just out of reach. While clues led to dead ends, Natalee's family refused to give up. Their pain in the media storm that followed changed Aruba forever. Beth Twitty never forgot the moment she received the call that her daughter Natalee didn't show up for her flight home. Within 4 hours, she and her husband Jug were on a private plane to Aruba, hearts heavy with dread. Stepping into Natalee's Holiday Inn room, Beth collapsed. Her daughter's luggage was still there, neatly packed, as if Natalee had just stepped out. Her passport, clothes, and dreams of becoming a doctor all left behind in the silent room. I won't stop until I know the truth, Beth vowed. And in the days that followed, she turned that promise into action. With a mother's relentless determination, Beth confronted Joran van der Sloot at his home, hours after arriving. Joran, with cold eyes, denied knowing Natalee, but Beth didn't believe him. "I know you were there," she said, her voice trembling with anger and pain. That moment in the quiet van der Sloot family home marked the start of a nearly 2-decade battle. Dave Holloway, Natalee's father, didn't stand still either. Though divorced from Beth, he shared the agony of losing their daughter and joined the search with quiet persistence. While Beth appeared on TV, Dave worked with private investigators, spending thousands to pursue even the smallest leads. In 2016, he hired TJ Ward, a private investigator, to review the case. Ward found Gabriel, who claimed to have information from John Ludwig, Joran's friend. Gabriel said Ludwig admitted to helping Joran incinerate Natalee's body in 2010. Dave, with faint hope, brought a search dog to Aruba, but it yielded nothing. In 2012, unable to bear the uncertainty, Dave petitioned an Alabama court to declare Natalee dead. Beth opposed it, but Judge Alan King sided with Dave. "We need closure," Dave said, his voice breaking, as if he knew true closure was impossible without his daughter's body. The Aruban community initially responded with remarkable unity. Hundreds of volunteers, from locals to public workers given leave, joined the search. Aruba's bank donated $20,000, and businesses provided resources. But as weeks passed without results, enthusiasm waned. The Holloways, especially Beth, grew frustrated with Aruban police, criticizing their delays, overlooked clues, and early release of Joran's surveillance. Beth even called for a tourism boycott of Aruba, but it gained little traction. Aruba, reliant on tourism, couldn't risk its image. This conflict created a deep rift. The Holloways felt abandoned, while Arubans felt unfairly blamed. The media quickly turned the case into a global phenomenon. In the US, shows like Fox News, Nancy Grace, and America's Most Wanted covered it relentlessly, portraying Natalee as an innocent girl and Joran as a villain. Nancy Grace called Joran a predator, while Beth appeared on TV with red-rimmed eyes, pleading for information. In 2006, Joran gave a 3-night Fox News interview claiming Natalee wanted sex, but he refused due to lacking a condom. "I'm ashamed I left her on the beach," he said, but no one believed him. The interview only fueled public outrage. In 2008, Dutch journalist Peter R. de Vries shocked viewers with footage of Joran admitting Natalee died of a seizure on the beach, and a friend hid her body. Confronted, Joran claimed he lied under pressure. But the footage with Joran's calm voice as he smoked marijuana chilled viewers. He knows something, one viewer commented, a sentiment shared worldwide. The media didn't just keep the case alive, it shaped public perception. Natalee became a symbol of stolen innocence, while Aruba was painted as a dangerous place where young girls could vanish. But this frenzy came at a cost. Commentators like Dutch psychologist Willem Wagenaar criticized De Vries for airing the footage, arguing it complicated convicting Joran. If they'd given the tape to police without broadcasting, they'd have had the advantage, Wagenaar said. The media also derailed the investigation with rumors and misinformation. Some speculated Natalee was sold into sex slavery, while others believed she was alive, hiding somewhere. These stories, though baseless, added to the Holloway's pain. As the media roared, new clues emerged, but none led to a breakthrough. In 2010, a jawbone found on a beach near the Phoenix Hotel sparked hope. But Dutch tests confirmed it wasn't Natalee's and couldn't even determine gender. That same year, a couple reported seeing human bones while diving, but an underwater search found nothing. In 2016, Gabriel's information via TJ Ward led to a new search. Gabriel said John Ludwig claimed to have helped Joran dig up and incinerate Natalee's body in 2010. A bone fragment was found, but DNA tests showed it wasn't Natalee's. These fleeting hopes, flaring and fading, were another blow to the Holloways. The case's impact stretched beyond Aruba. In the US, it raised awareness about safety for young women traveling. Schools tightened rules for graduation trips, enforcing strict alcohol bans and supervision. Aruba to some went from paradise to a symbol of danger. "I'd never let my daughter go there," an American mother said on an online forum. The case highlighted the need for international cooperation in criminal investigations as the FBI and Dutch police stepped in to support Aruba. But above all, it left an emotional legacy. Beth Twitty's tearful eyes and Dave Holloway's tireless searches became symbols of unrelenting grief. My personal take: the media kept the case in the public eye, but also skewed the investigation, turning a complex mystery into a simplistic tale of good versus evil. I wonder if this noise caused us to miss a critical clue, a small piece that could lead to Natalee's body. And then there's Joran van der Sloot, who seems to relish manipulating everyone from the Holloways to the global audience. He's the center of this mystery. But is he the only answer? As the media spotlight dimmed, the case left a painful legacy and questions that may never be answered. Nearly 2 decades after that fateful night, the mystery of Natalee Holloway still haunts us. Her body has never been found. No physical evidence definitively explains what happened. Joran van der Sloot, who confessed to killing her in 2023, is serving a sentence in Peru for another murder. But his confession only deepens the mystery. "I hit her hard after she rejected me," he said, his voice cold, as if recounting a mundane story. But if he's telling the truth, where is Natalee's body? Who helped him hide it? And if he's lying as he has so many times, what is the real truth? These questions, like the waves crashing on Aruba's shores, keep returning unrelenting. The case changed many things. In the US, it became a cautionary tale for parents and youth about the dangers of international travel, especially in places like Aruba, where party culture can mask threats. Schools imposed stricter rules for graduation trips, requiring constant supervision and banning alcohol. The Natalee case changed how we view these trips, an Alabama teacher said. In Aruba, tourism took a hit, though the Holloway's boycott call failed. The island still draws millions annually, but for some, Aruba's name is forever tied to a young girl's tragedy. The societal impact runs deeper. The case highlighted the vulnerability of young women in unfamiliar settings, where bar lights can obscure danger. It also raised questions about cross-border justice. How do you solve a case when nations have different laws and resources? The FBI and Dutch police assisted, but poor coordination with Aruba let clues slip through. The case is compared to other mysteries like Madeleine McCann's 2007 disappearance in Portugal, where a young girl vanished without a trace. Both tap into our primal fear, losing a loved one, never knowing the truth. The Holloway family remains at the heart of this pain. Beth Twitty, with her tireless resolve, became an icon of a mother fighting for justice. She appeared on TV, wrote books, and kept the case alive. But behind her strength was a broken heart. "Every day I wake up hoping to find her," she said in a 2010 interview. Dave Holloway Quieter spent years chasing private leads, from underwater searches to cadaver dogs. When he asked a court to declare Natalee dead in 2012, it wasn't surrender, but an attempt at peace, however small. Both Beth and Dave carry an indescribable grief, one any parent can empathize with. Joran van der Sloot remains an enigma. After Natalee's case, he continued his criminal path. In 2010, exactly 5 years after Natalee's disappearance, he killed Stephanie Flores, a 21-year-old student in Peru, after she found Holloway case details on his laptop. Joran was sentenced to 28 years. That same year, he extorted the Holloways, demanding $250,000 to reveal Natalee's body, but his information was false. In 2023, extradited to the US for extortion, he confessed to killing Natalee. But the confession, though shocking, brought no body or closure. Joran, with his smirk and empty eyes, seems to thrive on manipulating everyone from the Holloways to the global audience. I wonder, is he finally telling the truth, or is this another game? The unanswered questions make this case haunting. Where is Natalee's body? If Joran killed her, who helped hide it? What role did the Calpos play, or were they just caught up in the chaos? Was there a larger conspiracy, as Joran hinted, with Aruban police? Or officials covering up the truth? And why, with millions spent and thousands of hours searching, haven't we found her? Aruba spent $3 million, 40% of its police budget, to no avail. Underwater searches, beach sweeps, and swamp digs all failed. A jawbone in 2010, a skeleton underwater in 2010, a bone fragment in 2016, all were not Natalee's. Each spark of hope flared and faded, leaving the Holloways and the world in helpless frustration. My reflection: this case isn't just a mystery. It's a reminder that even in paradise, darkness lurks. I believe Joran killed Natalee, likely in a moment of impulse, and her body was hidden forever, perhaps at sea or in a secret incinerator. But what keeps me awake is the silence of others. Someone out there, maybe the Calpos, maybe a friend of Joran, knows the truth. And they've chosen silence, letting this secret bury Natalee. The case also speaks to something larger, our vulnerability when we leave safe spaces, and how systems can fail against a manipulator like Joran. I'll leave this story with a call to you, the reader. What do you think happened to Natalee Holloway? Did Joran act alone, or was there a larger network behind it? Is her body still in Aruba, or lost forever under the waves? Share your theories in the comments, because sometimes a fresh perspective can illuminate what we've missed. And if this story grips you, as it does me, stay tuned for more chilling mysteries. Natalee Holloway may be gone, but her story and the hope of finding the truth lives on.